Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for joining me for another episode of Lizards with the Most. I am your host, Nick. Today we got a couple of treats for you guys. We're going to be unboxing a couple of things. We have, first of all, a starter kit for Lord of the Rings. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. That's pretty cool. It is already opened because I was trying to see if there was an extra cardboard deck box because I was using those to organize things that I'm going to sell. So there's that. Also, this is dog meat. Say hello to dog meat. We have a March of the Machine draft booster. I don't know the difference between the different kinds of boosters, but we have this. We have a Dominira Jumpstart booster. We have a Foundations Play booster. We have a Wilds of Eldraine set booster. We have a Dominira United draft booster. We have an Innistrad Crimson Vow draft booster. And we have an Innistrad Midnight Hunt set booster. So, we're going to go for the biggest boy first. We're going to do the Lord of the Rings. Like I said, it's already been opened, but I have not looked through anything else in it. Oh, there's another box. Oh, I knew there was always two of these. Not bad. Okay, well, that can go in my sale box. Put that over here. Let these out. The Lord of the Rings Starter Kit Play Guide. I think this is the same as all the others. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's the same as all the others. Okay, very cool. So we're gonna bring out the phone. And right now we have a grand total of 1,795 cards with a total worth of $528.26. Let's see what we can find in these here cards. We have that one. Here is your first Magic the Gathering Arena play code and your second Magic the Gathering Arena play code. You may pause and look at those. Type those in. First come, first serve. We're gonna go through these really super quick to make sure that there are no basic lands. Okay, now I've gone through these, made sure that there are no basic lands, and hopefully there are no repeats. So that is our, and we had to move the camera a little bit closer to be able to actually read what's on these cards. So, first one we have is Sauron, the Littlest Eye. A-U, the Littlest Eye. The foil? Is it a foil? It is a foil. So, it's a legendary creature. It is an avatar horror. It says when Sauron, the Littlest Eye, enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until the end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until the end of your turn. If you tap this with 1 plus a black and a red, creatures you control get +2/+0 until the end of turn. Each opponent loses 2 life. And it's worth $2.67. By the way, this I paid $20 for this, I'm pretty sure. So, well, that's not what I want to do. Next we have is Aragorn and Arwen Wed. It has Vigilance, and whenever Aragorn and Arwen Wed enters the battlefield or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. You gain 1 life for each other creature you control. and it is worth $6.69. Very nice. Next we have Frodo, Determined Hero. It is a legendary creature, a halfling warrior. It says whenever Frodo, Determined Hero, enters the battlefield or attacks, you may attach target equipment you control with mana value 2 or 3 to Frodo. As long as it's your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Frodo. Very cool, Mr. Frodo. It is worth 82 cents. Next, we have Gandalf, the White Rider. Well, center that a little bit. It has vigilance, and whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Scry 1. When Gandalf White Rider dies, you may put it into its owner's library, 5th from the top. And it is worth $1.60. Next we have Galadriel, Gift Giver. It is a legendary creature, elf noble. It says whenever Galadriel Gift Giver enters the battlefield or attacks, choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. Create a food token or create a treasure token. And it's worth $3.50. Next we have Bilbo's Ring. It's a legendary artifact equipment. It says as long as it's your turn, equipped creature has hexproof and can't be blocked. Whenever equipped creature attacks alone, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Equip to halfling 1 or just equip in general is 4. It is worth $7.23. Next is Knight of the Keep. And it is just a creature that has 3/2. Moved it a little bit closer, sorry. This is just a creature with 3/2. It is worth 17 cents. Next is Westfold Rider. It is a human knight. Sacrifice Westfold Rider, destroy target artifact or enchantment, activate only as a sorcery. It is worth 15 cents. No! Next is Eastmark Cavalier. It is a human knight. It has vigilance. Whenever Eastmark Cavalier deals damage to a goblin or orc, destroy that creature. So it has death touch to only goblins or orcs, and it is worth 14 cents. Makes sense, I suppose. I don't know a whole lot about Lord of the Rings, but I do know that goblins and orcs are bad. Next is East Farthering Farmer. It is a creature and halfling peasant. It says when East Farthering Farmer, I keep on saying fathering, enters the battlefield, create a food token. When you do, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each food you control. It is worth 15 cents. Next we have Protector of Gondor. It is a human soldier. It says when Protector of Gondor enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. It's worth 15 cents. No! Next is Duendian Blade. Dunedian Blade. There's an artifact equipment. It says equipped creature gets +2/+1. Equipped to human 1. Equipped to, or just in general, equipped 3. It's worth 15 cents. No! Next is Second Breakfast. It is an instant, and it says up to 2 target creatures get +2/+1 until end of turn. Create a food token. And it is worth 15 cents. No! Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in my ass. Rosie, Cotton of South Lane is the next one. It is a legendary creature with and a halfling peasant. It says when Rosie, Cotton of South Lane enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you create a token, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control other than Rosie. For 25 cents. Next is Banishing Light. It is an enchantment. It says when Banishing Light enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. It is worth 19 cents. No! Next is Landroval Horizon Witness. flying creature, bird noble, as flying. It says whenever 2 or more creatures you control attack a player, target attacking creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. It's worth 15 cents.
Go!
Next is you cannot pass, which is very strange. It should be you shall not pass, isn't it? It is an instant. It says destroy target creature that blocked or was blocked by a legendary creature this turn. It is worth 15 cents.
Go!
Next is Mushroom Watchdogs creature. It's a dog. Sacrifice a food plus a +1/+1 counter on Mushroom Watchdogs. It gains vigilance until the end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. It is worth 15 cents.
Go!
Next is Woes Pathfinder. It is a human shaman. Tap this, add 1 mana of any color. Tap 6 plus a green and tap this. Another target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until the end of turn, and it is worth 14 cents. Next is Bag End Porter. It is a creature. It is a dwarf. It says whenever Bag End Porter attacks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. It is worth 10 cents. Damn. Next is Generous Ent. It is a tree folk. It has reach, and it says when Generous Ent enters the battlefield, create a food token. It is worth 53 cents. Very cool, very cool. It's a big old purse. Next is Many Partings. It is a sorcery. It says search your library for a base land card, reveal it, put it on into your hand, then shuffle, create a food token. It is worth 20 cents. Next is Galadrium Bow. It is an artifact equipment. It has flash, and it says when Galadrium Bow enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control, untap that creature. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has reach. It says equipped. It's worth 14 cents. Next is Mariadoc Brandybuck. It is a halfling citizen. It's a legendary creature. It says whenever 1 or more halflings you control attacks a player, create a food token. It is worth 15 cents.
Go!
Next is Peregrine Took. It is a legendary creature. It is a halfling citizen. It says if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional food token are created instead. It is worth 45 cents. Next is Stew the Conies. It is an instant. It says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Create a food token. There's a lot of food token making in this deck. It is worth 15 cents.
Go!
Next is Butterbur Bree Innkeeper. It is a human peasant. It is a legendary creature. It says at the beginning of your end step, if you don't control a food, create a food token. It is worth 15 cents. Next we have Shire Terrace. It is a land. Tap it, add diamond, which again I think is a colorless. I really need to look these things up. By the way, I actually did figure out how to play with planeswalkers. They're kind of an interesting concept, not really. Anyway, tap this +1, sacrifice Shire Terrace, search your library for a basic land card, put it into your battlefield tap, then shuffle. It is worth 22 cents.
Go!
Next is Grey Pelt Refuge. It is a land. It says when this card enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield tapped. When Grey Pelt Refuge enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Tap it to add a green or white. It is worth 20 cents.
Go!
Next, we have 2 food tokens, but my app is saying that they're not worth much. They're not worth anything, actually. I doubt that, but I mean, hey. Whatever, you win some, you lose some. Next card is Gollum Scheming Guide. It is a legendary creature. It is a halfling horror. It says whenever Golem, Scheming Guide attacks, look at the top 2 cards of the library, put them back in any order, then choose land or non-land. An opponent guesses whether the top card of your library is the chosen kind. Reveal that card. If they guessed right, remove Golem from combat. Otherwise, you draw a card and Golem can't be blocked this turn. Strange. Very strange. It is worth $1.12. Next is Witch King, Bringer of Ruin. It is a legendary creature. It is a Wraith Noble as flying. It says whenever Witch King, Bringer of Ruin attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature with the least power among creatures they control. It is worth $5.18. Whee! Next we have Fires of Mount Doom. It is a legendary enchantment. When Fires of Mount Doom enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Destroy all equipment attached to that creature. If you tap this with a red and 2, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you play a card this way, Fires of Mount Doom deals 2 damage to each player. It is worth 55 cents. 55 bucks, that would be cool. Next is the Balrog, Flame of Udun, or Adun. It is an avatar demon. It is a legendary creature, so it has trample. When a legendary creature an opponent controls dies, put the Balrog, Flame of Udun, on the bottom of its owner's library. Alright. That's kind of dumb. Alright. It's worth 28 cents. Next is Goblin Assailant. It is a Goblin Warrior, and it does nothing, but it has 2/2. It's worth 19 cents.
No!
Next is Easterling Vanguard. It is a human warrior. It's a creature. It says when Easterling Vanguard dies, amass orcs 1. Meaning put a +1/+1 counter on an army you don't control. It's also an orc. If you don't control an army, create a 0/0 black orc army creature token first. What the fuck? What do you mean 0/0 black orc army creature? What the fuck is that? It's worth 14 cents. Next we have Feed the Swarm. It is a sorcery. It says destroy target creature and enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's mana value. Well, that sucks. It's worth 25 cents. Next we have Dunland Crabane. It is a creature. It is a bird horror. As flying, and it says when Dunland Crabane enters the battlefield, amass orcs 2. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next we have Mordor Trebuchet. It is an artifact creature. It is a wall. It has a defender. It says whenever you attack with 1 or more goblins and or orcs, create a 2/1 colorless construct artifact creature token with flying named Ballistic Boulder that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice that token at end of combat. Sure, why not? It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next is Snarling Warg. It is a creature. It is a wolf. It has menace. It says as long as you control a goblin or orc, Snarling Warg, it gets +1/+0, and it is worth 12 cents. Next is Shelob's Ambush. It is an instant. It says target creature gets +1/+2 and gains death touch until end of turn. Create a food token. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next is Nasty End. It is an instant, and it says as an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. If the sacrificed creature was legendary, draw 3 cards instead. It is worth 20 cents.
No!
Next is Gothmog Morgul Lieutenant. It is a legendary creature. It is a human soldier. It says when Gothmog Morgul Lieutenant enters the battlefield, amass orcs 1. Creature tokens you control have death touch. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's worth 19 cents.
No!
That is a possible very cool. Next is Voracious Fellbeast. It is a creature. It is a drake beast. As flying, and it says when Voracious Fellbeast enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a food token for each creature sacrificed in this way. It's worth 15 cents. That is possibly a very cool. Next is Swarming of Moria. It is a sorcery. It says create a creature token. It's an artifact with tap it and sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color and amass orcs 2. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next is Olog High Crusher. It is a troll soldier. It is a creature. It says trample. Olog High Crusher can't block unless you control a goblin or orc. It is worth 12 cents. Next we have Oliphant. It is a creature. It is an elephant. It has trample. It says whenever Oliphant attacks another creature, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains trample until the end of turn. It has mountain cycling, meaning discard this card with 1 for 1 mana. Search your library for a mountain card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. It is a big penis and it is worth 24 cents. Next we have Cast Into the Fire. It is an instant. Choose one. Cast Into the Fire deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures or exile target artifact. It is worth 50 cents. I think we've made our money back on this one, but we will see. Next is Fire of Orthanc. Sorcery. Destroy target artifact or land. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. Worth 14 cents. Next is Goblin Fire Leaper. It is a creature. It is a goblin warrior. It says tap 1 plus a red. Goblin Fire Leaper gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. When Goblin Fire Leaper dies, it deals damage equal to its power and 2 target creature an opponent controls. Why can't I talk? It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Sometimes I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Next we have Grishnak, whatever. Brash Investigator. It is a legendary creature. It is Goblin Soldier, and it says when Grishnak Brash Investigator enters the battlefield, amass orcs 2. When you do, until the end of turn, gain control of target non-legendary creature an opponent controls with power less than or equal to the amassed army's power. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
I think I'm finally starting to understand what amass means, but we'll see. Next is Foray of Orcs. It is a sorcery. It says amass orcs 2. When you do, Foray of Orcs deals X damage to target creature an opponent controls, where X is the amassed army's power. To amass orcs 2, put 2 +1/+1 counters on an army you control. It's also an orc. If you don't control an army, create a 0/0 black orc army token creature first. Oh, I think I understand. Okay, so I think what you do is like, okay, here is my army that is at 0/0 right now, but every time you amass orcs, like amass orcs 2, it's like, okay, this army is now at 2/2. If it's 1, it's like this is now at 3/3, and so on and so forth. I think I understand now. Very cool. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next is Mahur Urakai Captain. It is a legendary creature. It's an orc soldier. It has menace. It says if 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on an army, goblin, or orc you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. That kind of is a very strange wording, but it is worth 20 cents. Next is Ugluk of the White Hand. It is a legendary creature. It is an orc soldier. It says whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Ugluk of the White Hand. If that creature was a goblin or orc, put 2 of them on it instead. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next is Mind Stone. It is an artifact. It says tap this and add diamond. Tap this +1, sacrifice Mind Stone, add a card. It is worth 25 cents. A little lame, but that's okay. And the last one of this set is Evolving Wilds. Fuck Evolving Wilds. Holy shit. It is worth 20. Nope. Where is it? 20 cents. Yep, that's okay. Picking a random one of the other little booster packs we have on the side here, and we're doing Innistrad Crimson Vow. Let's open it up. I think I did make my money back on that one. Not gonna lie. Open. Thank you. Son of beach. Son of beach open. Open Bob and the Vagina. There we go. Jeez Louise. Okay. Now we got, oh, look at that. That's, whoop. Look at that. That's very strange. You can use this card to represent a double-faced card. Very strange. I don't know what to do with that. I'm gonna put that to the side. We do have a basic land. That is the only basic land we have. It's really nice and shiny and pretty. That's pretty cool. Very cool. First, we have a human token that's worth nothing. Alright. First, we have Hive Heart Shaman. It is a creature. It is a human shaman. Whenever Hive Heart Shaman attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card that doesn't share a land type with a land you control. Put that card in the battlefield, then shuffle. If you tap this, tap a green +5, create a 1/1 green insect creature token, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. Activate only as a sorcery. It is worth 25 cents. Next we have Boarded Window. It is an artifact. It says creatures attacking you get -1/-0 at the beginning of each end step. If you were dealt 4 or more damage this turn, exile Boarded Window. It's worth 15 cents.
No!
Next is Bride's Gown. It is an artifact equipment. It says equipped creature gets +2/+0. It gets an additional +0/+2 and has first strike as long as an equipment named Groom's Finery is attached to a creature you control. Equipped 2. It is worth 18
No!
cents. 18 cents. Next is Nature's Embrace. It is an enchantment aura. It says enchant creature or land. As long as an enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +2/+2. As long as it as enchanted permanent is a land, it has tap at 2 mana of any color. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Holy crap, what is wrong with me? Next is Sheltering Bows. It is an enchantment aura. It says enchant creature. When Sheltering Bows enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+3. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next one is Traveling Minister. But I already have him. That's cool. Well, okay, I had the foil version, I'm pretty sure. This is the plain version. This is worth 14 cents. Next is End of Festivities. It is a sorcery. It says end the festivities deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. It is worth $1.05. Next is Wedding Invitation. It is an artifact. It says when Wedding Invitation enters the battlefield, draw a card. Tap this and sacrifice Wedding Invitation. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. If it's a vampire, it also gains lifelink until end of turn. It is worth 20 cents. Next is Skywarp Scab. It is a creature. It is a zombie drake. It has flying. It says when Skywarp Scab enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 target creature cards from your graveyard. If you do, draw a card. It is worth 10 cents. Next is Unhallowed Phalanx. It is a zombie soldier. It says Unhallowed Phalanx enters the battlefield tapped. Holy shit, it is 113. Wow. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Worth a lot more than that. Next is Blood Servitor. It is an artifact creature. It is a construct. It says when Blood Servitor enters the battlefield, create a blood token. It's an artifact with tap it with 1, discard a card, sacrifice this card, draw a card. Okay. It's worth 10 cents. Next is Repository Scab. It is a creature zombie. It says exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When Repository Scab exploits a creature, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. It is worth 15 cents.
No!
Next, we have a changing card. One side is Desperate Farmer. It is a creature, human peasant, has lifelink. When another creature you control dies, transform Desperate Farmer, and it transforms into Depraved Harvester. There's a creature, human knight. It has lifelink, and it's worth 11 cents. Next one is Distracting Geist. It is a creature spirit. Whenever Distracting Geist attacks, tap target creature defending player controls and disturb 4 plus a white, which means you may cast this card from your graveyard transformed for its disturb cost. And if you flip it, it is a Clever Distraction, Enchantment Aura, Enchanted Creature. Enchanted Creature has whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. If Clever Distraction would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. It is worth 19 cents. Very okay. I think we have maybe time for one more. I'm actually really interested in this March of the Machine Draft Booster. Let's give this a go. Whoa. Come on. There we go. Come on. There we go. Come on. If there's any basic lands. Ooh, looks like we got a couple of nice ones, maybe. No basic lands. Very cool. Okay. Do that one last. Do those last. Okay. First, we have Thornwood Falls. That is a land. Whenever Thornwood Falls enters the battlefield tapped. Oh, it does enter the battlefield tapped. When it enters, you gain 1 life. Tap to add a green or a blue. It's worth 19 cents.
Go!
Next is Rona. Shieldred's Faithful. It is a human wizard. It is a legendary creature. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 1 life. You may cast Rona from your graveyard by discarding 2 cards in addition to paying its other costs. Worth 15 cents.
Go!
Thought that one might be a good one, but I guess not. Next is Tarkir Dune Shaper. It is a creature dog warrior. You tap 4 with whatever that symbol is. I think it's... yeah, I don't know what that symbol is. Transform Tarkir Dune Shaper. Activate only as a sorcery. That symbol can be paid with either, with green or 2 life. Interesting. The other side is Burnished Dune Stomper. This creature, Phyrexian Dog Warrior. It has trample, and it's worth 12 cents. Next is Shanna Sisei's Legacy. It is a legendary creature. It is a human warrior. It says Shanna Sisei's Legacy can't be the target of abilities your opponents control. Shanna gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. Oh, interesting. That can be a big minor penis. Could be. It's worth 18 cents.
Go!
Next, we have City on Fire. It is an enchantment. It has Convoke. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead. Oh, damn. It's worth $5.25, and I think this pack cost me about $6, maybe $7, so I think this is already paid for. Woo! Next is Zalfrin Lancer. It is a human knight creature. Whenever another knight enters the battlefield under your control, Zalfrin Lancer gets +1/+1 and gains vigilance until end of turn. 15 cents.
Go!
Next is Invasion of Kamigawa. It is a battle. It is a siege. As a siege enters, choose an opponent to protect it. You and others can attack it. When it's defeated, exile it, then cast it transformed. When Invasion of Kamigawa enters the battlefield, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. If a permanent with a stun counter would become untapped, remove 1 from it instead. Interesting. And on the other side, it says Rooftop Saboteurs. That is creature Moonfolk Ninja. As flying, whenever Rooftop Saboteurs deals combat damage to a player or battle, draw a card. Interesting. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's worth 15 cents.
Go!
Is that shiny? Is that a shiny? Is that? No, that's not. Next is Stoke the Flames. It is an instant. It says Convoke. Stoke the Flames deals 4 damage to any target. It is worth 19 cents.
Go!
Next is Enduring Bond Warden. It is creature, human scout. It has backup 1, which means when this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If that's another creature, it gains the following ability until the end of turn. When this creature dies, put its counters on target creature you control. Okay, whatever. It's worth 16 cents.
Go!
Fuck that. Next, we have an Incubator token. Tap 2, and it transforms the artifact into a Phyrexian. Okay. My Majigger says it's not worth much. Anything. Cool looking art though. Next is Protocol Knight. It is a human knight. It is a creature. It says when Protocol Knight enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. Put a stun counter on that creature if you control another knight. If a permanent with a stun counter would become untapped, remove 1 from it instead. Okay, I think I understand what a stun counter is. Very cool. 15 cents is what it is. Next is Corrupted Conviction. It is an instant. It says as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, you may draw 2 cards. It is worth 54 cents. Very cool. Next is Alabaster Hope Intercessor. Phyrexian Samurai creature. When Alabaster Host Intercessor enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls until Alabaster Host Intercessor leaves the battlefield. It has Plains Cycling 2, which means tap 2, discard this card, search your library for a Plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand and shuffle. It's worth 15 cents. Oh my god.
Go!
Next is Serpent Blade Assailant. It is a creature, elf warrior. It says backup 1 and it has death touch. It is worth 15 cents.
Go!
Next we have Meeting of Minds. It is an instant, convoke, draw 2 cards. It is worth 20 cents.
Go!
And finally, we have Shatter the Source. It is an instant. It has Convoke. It says choose 1. Shatter the Source deals 6 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. Or destroy target artifact. And it is worth 14 cents. And how much, pray tell, do I have? How much is it worth? I have 1,883 cards. And I have a total worth of $577.31. Oh boy. These episodes to do are a little bit tiring. That's okay. I enjoy it. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Lizards with the Most. I hope you had some fun with this shit in the background. We still have Innistrad Midnight Hunt set booster. We still have Dominaria United draft booster. We still have Wilds of Eldraine set booster. We still have Foundations set booster. And we still have Dominaria United Jumpstart booster. So, join me next time when I go through these. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if it's going to be before this episode or the next episode, but me and Morgan, my editor Morgan, played Magic the Gathering. We actually played 2 rounds, and I'm still salty about it. Can you guess what happened? I'm mad. Therefore, you can probably guess what happened. But over on Taboo Tater Tots Club podcast, there is a 15-minute preview of that episode. That preview will go up probably a day or 2 before the actual episode. So go check that out to see what's to come. Again, I don't know what order these are going to come up. What order they're going to be coming out in. But go check that shit out. Check out the podcast where me and my editor Morgan talk shit about whatever the fuck. We also play video games over there, and he also tears circuitry and robo parts apart, mostly just Roombas and stuff. He's making a thing. Go check that out. And check out other videos on this channel, such as other videos. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your patronage. Check out the Twitter, the Cash App, the Patreon, the other things in the description. I love you. Bye.